What is up, geeks? So today we have another Power Rangers Legacy 7-inch, or most people are calling these the 6-inch figures. I don't call them that. I call them 7-inch because they already have a 5-inch figure line, and these are significantly bigger than typical 6-inch figures. So that's the reason why you'll hear me in these review videos saying they're 7-inch figures. And I measured them too. They're 7 inches. So anyway, this is the Pink Ranger, Kimberly. Had a huge crush on her growing up watching MMPR, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. If you hear me abbreviate it that way, it's just the acronym for Mighty Morphin. So you collect all of these and you could build the Megazord. Now they haven't released the Yellow Ranger yet. So you can see here in the back, the Yellow Ranger is the only one missing. I do have the Red Ranger. I reviewed both the red and black. I'm going to review the Blue Ranger next, and here are the other figures in the series. So we have the Blue Ranger, which I'm doing next. Like I said, had these. I have both of these, the black and the Red Ranger from the Space series, and I don't have this one. I'm not planning to get that one. As far as the other series go, I'm only planning to get the Red Rangers of each of the series. I can't just collect all of these figures, guys. I think you understand, but I do want to complete this set, and I'm planning to complete the movie set as well. So I'll let you guys know when I get the Red Ranger. I don't have the Red Ranger from the movie series yet. I have the rest of those figures though, so I'm excited about that. Anyway, without further ado, let's stop talking and get to the unboxing and review. Alright, so we have Kimberly out of the package. Now, like usual, I like to take a look at the accessories first. Now, Kim has the right arm of the Megazord. So we remember the Red Ranger had the left arm, rather, and she has the right arm. So it's coming together now. We have a bunch of the pieces. Now, this is on a ball joint, this wrist. So it moves pretty well. Then you have the little hinge here for that little piece of the shoulder. And you got a ball joint for that once we connect him. Then we have the Blade Blaster. Now mine came a little bit warped, as you can see. So that's a little annoying, but I'm not going to really pose her with a Blade Blaster. I'm disappointed that I found out that the Then and Now figures, which are the movie figures combined with the MMPR figures, are going to be the ones with all the special accessories for each figure. So she'll have her like bow and arrow, which kind of like, it's upsetting because I was hoping that these individual figures would come with those, but unfortunately you're gonna have to get the Then and Now 2-packs. So anyway, this is the holster, and it goes right onto her side right here. And focus, and there we go. Pink Ranger. So she looks really good. I do like the articulation on this one. It's a little bit different than the male articulation. Now, I believe the Yellow Ranger is gonna come with the same type of articulation. She's, I don't think she's gonna come with a skirt, because as you guys know, in the MMPR series, it's based off the Japanese show, and they were using the Japanese footage, and it was played, the Yellow Ranger was played by a male, so they didn't have a skirt. So I don't think they're gonna do the skirt, but I believe she's gonna have female parts. So it's gonna have the same kind of like diaphragm joint here, as well as the breasts, whatever. So anyway, let's look at the detail first before we get into the articulation, which is pretty cool. It's a different body, as you can see, a lot skinnier and lean. And so it comes with a skirt this time, very skinny legs. And as far as the body, it looks pretty good. I think it fits well. And I think they did pretty well with the sculpt, the paint. I do like the paint here. They did really well with the lenses, because with hers, they're very circular, and so I like how it's very symmetrical. They did good with that. So yeah, overall, I'm pretty happy with it. Now let's take a little, let's focus in on the Morpher here. Now this is where I think they were a little sloppy here. You could barely make out a pterodactyl there. I don't know about you guys, but the other ones were very clean. I don't know if this is a combination of poor sculpting or poor paint. Could be both, but I can't even recognize that being a pterodactyl. So that's a bit disappointing because they were pretty good. Now I will note that this is another figure that comes with a silver belt. As you guys know, there's supposed to be white belts from the show, and even on the back of this box here, you could see that the Blue Ranger, Black Ranger, and Pink Ranger all have white belts, but their figures have silver belts, so that's pretty interesting. So yeah, I mean, I'm not complaining about that. It's not really a bad thing. I actually think it looks pretty cool. So for the purists out there, that you might find that to be a little bit annoying. But anyway, I'm kind of excited to go through the articulation here. So we have a nice ball joint here at the head, and she moves pretty well, both up and down very well. The arms are a tad bit loose, but they do go up there pretty good. There is a bicep swivel. It's a single joint at the elbow rather than a double joint, but it still goes past 90 degrees, which is great. You have the glove rotation, and you have the nice ball joint here for the wrist, so that's great. Now, I really want to get into this. This diaphragm joint is super loose, but it's not terrible. I'm afraid that this thing would just like come off. I mean, you can even see the gap here, in that separation, and a little bit in the back, but not much. Now, if it was any more loose, I'd be afraid that when I'm trying to pose it, that it would just like go back into place. But it remains to be seen. It actually, the flexibility is pretty remarkable, so I will give it to them. But I'm feeling like over time, if I tried to pose her in a certain pose, it's gonna like lean towards the way of gravity. So that's the thing that I'm worried about here. But it's pretty remarkable how much this range of motion is. This might be the most range of motion I've ever seen for a diaphragm joint. So I'll give it up to them for that, and hopefully we'll see over the years how that goes. Now, because of the skirt, you can't really do the full split like you could for the other figures, so that's a little bit unfortunate. You could barely go forward and back. You can a little bit, but the skirt really hinders our articulation here. Now, although they have a split here, it doesn't really help out. It's a very thick rubber material, so I wish they could have maybe even split it here too, in the front and in the back. That way you can really move it more, or use like something else. Unfortunately, it really hinders articulation. You do have the double jointed knee, which is great. You have the boot swivel, and you have, of course, the ankle rocker, ankle pivot there at the bottom. Now let's do a little size comparison with the rest of the MMPR figures that I have reviewed so far. So now I would say that the Pink Ranger is significantly smaller, which I am so glad that they did that. Of course, it's using a different body mold. All three of these molds are the same: the black, red, green, and the blue one, which I'll review next. But the Pink Ranger is definitely a different body mold, which I'm happy about. And I'm hoping they do the same thing with the Yellow Ranger. The only difference might be it won't have a skirt. That's what I'm thinking. I think they already showed most of the promo images for that. I haven't seen it on the shelf, so of course the promo images don't always match up. But as far as I know, it has a female body mold, but they did without the skirt, I think. So overall, this figure is pretty good. I can't complain too much. I think they're staying consistent with these figures. They're doing really well, and I'm excited to see the rest of the figures, and I'm excited to review the movie figures and compare them to these MMPR figures. So anyway, I hope you guys liked the review. Stay tuned at the end of this video for some nice photos with the Pink Ranger, along with my other Rangers too. So yes, thank you. Until next time, embrace, express, and enjoy yourself. May the Force be with you always, my young Padawan.